Blood. Yo, people, fam. Always telling me this is boy Njies, man like Njies or MLC Njies, and I didn't build blood. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, but if it's your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time here, you might as well subscribe because you enjoy the content and them things there, blood. You know what I'm saying? Today, first ever time.
I can't.
I can keep a straight face.
I can't.
Bro, today,
Stop smiling.
I got the first guest on my channel, fam. You know what I'm saying? The man them. I got man like.
Well,
I'm man like. Yo, you want idiots, man. Today is gonna be a long day of streaming, blood. These man can't even keep it together. This guy can't keep it together, blood. You know what I mean? But yeah, we got Jubilee. The all feminists think the same, blood. I just thought it'd be an interesting video to watch, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, blood? See where young man heads are at. You know
Don't
what I'm
worry,
saying?
man.
You know what I'm saying? We'll take part as well. Alright, cool. Let's get into this one.
Hey,
First reaction of the day.
and also,
Is man advertising something, blood?
Right, so for you, it is the ability to create life, and that's basically what makes you a woman.
Femininity and womanhood is so much more than just, getting dressed up and just the way I feel. It's who I am on a biological level.
I mean, alright, so basically what these man do, because this is your man's first time, they ask a question and then you just go in strongly agree somewhat, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So obviously we'll take part as well and like, may have our opinion on anything there.
Men can be feminist. 3, 2, 1, go.
I would say agree. I'd say agree. You know
I mean,
what I'm saying?
I'm wearing a hoodie that says men can be feminists too. I feel like I have to be over here.
It's the
I
same,
think
man.
most men that are feminists
feel like I have
are,
to be over here.
usually
Nah,
either
JK,
lazy,
JK.
virtue signaling, just want to see tits, or access to easy sex.
I think it depends on your definition of feminism. Like modern
Because these man's names are popping up where we are. See what I'm saying? I'm a technician, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on the fly, man, on the fly.
day feminism, I would say yes. Like traditional feminism, like advocating for,
Yeah,
traditional
sorry.
femininity.
Signaling, just want to see tits, or access to easy sex.
I think it depends on your definition of feminism. Like modern day feminism, I would say yes. Like traditional feminism, like advocating for, traditional femininity and non-discrimination in the workplace. Like, I think those things men can agree with.
I see what you're saying when you're like, there's this performative feminism that a lot of guys do. So if a male feminist is like, oh, I only support like women and it's just only about that, but he's not even talking about how like feminism needs to support men or like trans people or whatever, then there is a performativeness to it.
White feminist voices are too loud. 3, 2, 1, go.
Wait, pause.
I
pause.
somewhat agree.
When
like,
they say loud, did it mean they talk about the subject too much or just loud in general?
Basically, blood.
why
You know what I'm
bring
saying?
culture into it though? Still, there's a difference between white feminists and black feminists.
Not necessarily, blood, but I guess some people just feel I don't know, because
Why did they have to say white?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. But obviously, when you're a certain type of race or whatever, fam, you feel like, you know what I'm saying, you have certain...
More passion about.
Yeah, exactly.
Performative.
3,
He looked
Two.
hella awkward, by the way, blood. He looked hella awkward. He was like,
I don't know
where the
about
hell
my
do I
man with
go?
the scarf, you know. He looks
One,
like a
go.
shit.
You could already tell.
I somewhat agree, like
But I
that
need to
white
understand the
feminist
term more, though.
voices are too loud, but then I think that they become really good at using black women or black faces when they want to, push their movement further.
I mean, I agree that it's probably not balanced, and I think it probably needs to be more equal. I guess the reason why I'm at somewhat disagree is just because I'm hesitant to say that anyone speaking up for their views is too loud.
I think that's fine, and I can definitely see what you're saying. I just hate like when some of these movements use black women when it's convenient for them.
Exactly.
There's not discussion about the Latinas immigrant, how they get treated on the feminist movement. It's always about either the pro-choice side or something else that it's more interesting to white.
When you think of feminism, you usually think of a white lady. And I think that's still perpetuated.
Or something else that's more interesting to white.
When you think of feminism, you usually think of a white lady. And I think that's still perpetuated, even though there'd be like a lot of black women behind the scenes doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and often are in a lot of civil rights movements. White women have certain rights they need through feminism as other people, but they're just always taken more seriously by everyone.
Hey, you know why these ones are interesting though, yeah? Because number one, obviously when you're chatting about race, you're talking about like a certain type of people, innit? When it comes to feminism, you're talking about women in general, so there's a plethora of different type of people that you're talking about, you know what I'm saying? That are all over the world and them thing there. And number three, blood, with the feminism thing, fam. For example, if you think about what women have fought for over the years, blood, and then you have the way, like, you know what I'm saying, girl act on like social media and all of them thing down nowadays. In terms of like the girl, you know what I'm saying, with the way Cardi B portrays herself in her songs, or the way like a city girls or whatever, like the city girl type of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's just all.
So it kind of debunks, because you have women like this that are trying to fight for a cause, you know what I'm saying, and then you have like just the general modern day woman kind of
that spectrum.
you know what I'm saying?
I'll read off a list of public figures, and you'll go to your left if you believe the person to be a feminist, or the right if you don't think they're a feminist. Kim Kardashian.
I don't care about these people. I don't watch their lives, but I don't know.
I don't think that's her number one thing.
She went from doing her show and the whole like sex scandal thing to like, you know, now she's working in law and civil rights, and she's done the whole family thing. Ultimately, I think that Kim Kardashian is a woman that has like done what she's wanted to do.
Amy Coney Barrett.
Who the fuck is that,
Who that is?
Amy Coney Barrett.
Sorry, blood. Amy Coney Barrett. Amy Coney Barrett, blood.
Supreme Court. Nah, she's a judge.
Yeah.
She kind of has to be then, no?
That's the thing though, it's kind of like when you're like an influencer and people say, oh, he's an influencer, so he is a role model type of thing. I feel like you choose whether you want to be, you know what I'm saying, a feminist or not. Just because you're a woman in power doesn't necessarily mean you're automatically a feminist, you know what I'm saying? Kind of thing.
In my opinion, is like the epitome of a feminist. She's literally like a Supreme Court justice in like the highest court of the land, and she totally disproves
Obviously she'll
the
be an
narrative.
inspiration 1000%, but whether she advocates or, you know what I'm saying, tries to amplify that message, that's, I guess, that's
That
up to
women
her.
have to choose between having a career and a family.
I don't really agree with her a lot on her political stances, but I think more so as just being a role model for women to be on a level of the Supreme Court where it's primarily dominated by men.
J.K. Rowling.
3 years ago.
Yo, no cut. For some reason, I always thought that was a man.
Huh?
No cut. I've never put a face to that name. Obviously, I know the name. I know that person.
What,
I know what they've done.
Now?
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen that person's face, blood. And I thought it was a man this whole time.
You did.
Yo, no
You
cap.
did how?
No cap, blood. Obviously, I know what that person has done, but that's the first time I've seen a face to the name J.K. Rowling, and I always thought it was a man. J.K. Rowling. Does that sound like a man's name?
Since primary school, it was a woman.
Yeah, I was gonna say since.
Well, how did you find out though?
On the book.
Yeah, exactly, blood. I
didn't
never
realize the
put
books.
I never knew her gender.
Not even in the book, like in the movies, like you would know.
Nah, man.
Because they adapted it.
Nah, man. But yeah,
J.K.
shout out her thing though. You know what I'm saying?
3 years ago, I would have said yes,
No, for
and there's still a lot
fact.
of reasons I would. She was a single mom. She wrote all the books. She became a billionaire. The reason I would say
Billionaire?
kind of no now is her just kind of weird anti-trans.
Reactor
As we
Miyagi.
called. To Miyagi's. Hey, not gonna lie, we're probably not reacting to any music today, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Zealotry she's gotten
Can't lie
involved
to you.
in that kind of undercuts a lot of her other feminist
Now we
stuff.
I mean, I disagree
Okay.
with the fact that she expresses her own opinions, and now people like literally crucified her and really want to like put her under and undermine everything she has done. You know,
It's just she has such a big platform that when you're
Put
talking
phone on
like
silent,
this very extreme stuff
And
about a
unemployed.
marginalized group, that's really the issue.
Why should women like with a platform be forced to align with the mainstream narrative of what it means to be a woman and a
Yeah,
feminist?
exactly.
Like, why can't her own personal journey be enough? It really comes
Exactly.
down to
That's exactly what I was trying to say, man. Because I feel like when people are in certain positions, they're forced to act a certain role. You know what I'm saying? It's like, for example, I blow up now. People are looking at me in a certain type of way and say, "Son, you have to do this and you have to do that. Or why are you not doing this? Why not? Because I don't fucking want to, blood." You know what I'm saying? Type of thing.
Not that it's an opinion, it's that she's spreading a lot of dangerous misinformation.
But based on what, though? Because you don't agree with it?
No, it's scientific facts. Like, she's just talking about stuff that's incorrect. And her ideas about trans men have affected legislation that harms trans men getting the resources they need.
Trans women are women. 3, 2, 1, go.
Listen, wait.
I didn't even get to...
Listen, you can voice your opinions, but at the end of the day, we're on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So don't say anything, man. I went on Twitch as well. What you just said are trans women.
No.
What about you?
No.
I plead the fifth, man. You know what I'm saying, blood?
Oh, okay.
Nah,
Why did all the men come
on the real though? I strongly disagree though. You know what I'm saying? But like, allow it, man.
Our political
Wait, I'm strongly
and as
disagree.
for how we see the LGBTQ.
I mean, I think it's also split between.
He is a shook you, man. I'm telling you. Yeah. He's just trying to say the right answer. He is a shook you, blood. He's just trying to say the right answer for the cameras, man.
I think it's also split between. I mean, all the men are on that side, and all the women are on this side. I know, being a woman, that there are certain things that we have to deal with as women that people who are not, biologically women don't have to deal with. I mean, we have to deal with having our periods and go through that really awkward stage when we're 13, and people who are, trans women don't have to go through that.
And that's the thing though, yeah, when it comes to this argument, I haven't really heard a woman's point. This is the first time I've heard a woman actually speak like this. Because even in sport, blood, you know what I'm saying, now you have trans women doing UFC, blood, just banging, you know what I'm saying, exactly. But them, it's the people that higher ups that don't engage in this stuff that are making the decisions, but no one's actually considering the actual biological women, you know what I'm saying, no one's taking their, exactly, it's mad. You watch Stevie Knight, innit?
Sometimes,
yeah, he did a video on it, blood, you know what I'm saying?
We have to deal with having our periods and go through that really awkward stage when we're 13, and people who are, trans women don't have to go through that.
Trans women live their entire lives as women. They don't turn it off. It's not something that they're turning off, and then to come up to them and say, "Oh yeah, I see you doing this, but you're not a woman." It's kind of insulting.
How do you live your life as a woman? Because every single time somebody says that, they name the most stereotypical things. It's like putting on a dress, putting on makeup. It's biological. I was born a woman. I can't be a man.
So
I can't be a man no matter how much I try. I can't be you.
And it's just chromosomes, and that's it.
Are the differences
Wait, pause it a
just
second.
having children?
I don't understand. So
hey, listen. If you want to pause the video as well, just press the space bar.
So what my man's saying is, people who are transgender are women. That's what he's saying.
Basically, yeah.
He's saying because they've lived out.
But then he said it's only because it's biological that they're not women.
Oh, say that again?
So she's saying that biologically they're not women
exactly.
because they don't have to go through all of that
Exactly,
stuff.
blood. Because what she's saying is the man is basically just considering putting on a dress and all of them things there where being a woman is much more than that, you know what I'm saying?
So them transgender are basically just transvestites. That's what it is.
Listen, hey.
Because that's the same thing, isn't it?
No, transgender is they get the thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And then they get the... They get all of that done, but they're still not women.
Yeah, obviously.
It's just it's a guy with some things.
That's it.
Chromosomes, and that's it.
Are the differences just chromosomes, just having children? That's so hurtful and discriminatory against women, because femininity and womanhood is so much more than just, getting dressed up and putting on makeup and just the way I
in the kitchen.
feel. It's who I am on a biological level.
Huh?
Right, so for you, it is the ability to create life, and that's basically what makes you a woman.
What makes you a man, or would you consider yourself a man? I probably should.
Yeah, I was born a man. I behave as a man.
So wait.
Exactly.
So he just said what she said, but to
yeah, exactly, fam. That's what I'm saying.
Society
to
as
be
a man.
Stop being an
like
idiot,
you.
man.
So,
I want to be a man now.
So we can both agree that our society has things that men generally do, things that women generally do, right? If you start to fall on one side of the spectrum versus the other side of the spectrum, then you're going to be treated as that gender.
I think it's a little obscure that we're looking at it as such a basic requirement, more so that, I mean, humans are much more evolved than any other animal, so why are we still using just the requirement of, well, if that person has a penis, he's a male, or that person has a vagina, they're a female.
Wait a minute, why the hell is this text gone back to our side again? You know what, F it, man, I'm
I
leaving.
think you're a masculine woman or a feminine man. That doesn't make you that gender. And to try to
they're a female.
I think you're a masculine woman.
Bro, I can't even hear what she's even saying. Let's speak up.
Why are we still using just the requirement of, well, if that person has a penis, he's a male, or that person has a vagina, they're a female?
Well, isn't that what makes us men and women? That's
the difference right there.
Woman
you either this or you're done.
Feminine man. That doesn't make you that gender. And to try to
So she basically said, just because you're a masculine female, because you know you have like tomboys and that, just because you're a tomboy, that doesn't make you a man. Or sometimes you might have a man that kind of acts like a woman, that doesn't make them a woman type of thing, you know what I'm saying?
That's just because you might like doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Basic biological facts. We all learn this in high school. Like, let's stop acting like it's something new and different now because it's like the hip thing to say.
I think there's like a lot of conflating of being female versus being a woman. Being female is chromosomal, it's what you're born as. Being a woman is a societal construct. They can align, like yours obviously all align. Like you pointed over here, you're like, all the men over here. First 30 years of my life, I was a woman. I transitioned. It's disconnect.
Wait, what?
Over here, you're like, all the men over here. First 30 years of my life, I was a woman. I transitioned.
He said the first 30 years of his life he was a woman. So what is he now, a man?
Yeah, I think he was born a woman, but now he's a man. I mean, not gonna lie, I kind of thought that was a man.
I thought it was a man.
But I don't know what he means because, but from the way he's saying it, I don't know what he means. But I think
is that a woman then?
Well, he was born a woman. Now he's a man.
But he's still a woman.
Well, I don't know, but he might have done some mad thing because obviously, for example, when you're transitioning to a woman or a man, you can like inject certain things into you to make you look more like that.
I know, but what they're saying is, he's for what do you call it? When you're a woman and you go into like you want to be a man.
Yeah.
You have to do all them things,
Well, not necessarily.
But you're still a woman.
Yeah, basically.
And he's agreed with that as well.
So why is he agreed, but he's saying that?
I don't know, Blake. You know what I'm saying? But just because you transition to another gender, I guess you can take whatever extremes you want. You know what I'm saying? Some people just might consider them. Some people might.
So right now, to me, he's just trying to us.
Yeah, I guess so.
He's just
a disconnect with what you're born as and what you feel you should be.
So gender dysphoria.
Yes.
Okay, I can believe that. I 100% could believe that. Yeah.
If it was just like, I just wanted to be a masculine woman, then sure, that's easy to do. But that didn't work. I'm not going to say I'm male. I wasn't born with XY.
Yeah,
that'll never change. And no trans person will ever tell you they're biologically born that way, because if anyone knows anything about biology, it's trans people. That's why they have to get hormones and do all this other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't take away your womanhood if someone else is a different type of woman. It's a different experience that shouldn't make you feel less of a woman if they're around, or vice versa.
Do you all feel like the feminist movement should be fighting for trans women within that movement?
I mean, it should be fighting for everyone's genders, whether they're trans women, trans men, cis women, cis men, or non-binary people. That's just part of feminism.
I don't think so. I think it defeats the entire movement.
Every feminist should be pro-choice. 3, 2, 1, go. Be pro-choice. 3,
maybe we'll understand when they start speaking about
2,
protest
1,
like
go.
What protests like abortions, if you want to get abortions or not?
Isn't it just having a choice, basically?
having a choice of doing that.
Yeah, it might just be being a choice. Wait a minute. Actually, no. Let's let him chat. Let's let him chat.
I consider myself to be a pro-life feminist, and I think that the idea that we can tell women.
You see what I'm saying though? In the modern day, there's so many different terms, blood, that if you're not keeping up with them, and people just fling like you watch videos like this, you're just like, what the fuck are people talking about?
Pro-life is to keep a baby. So
Yeah. That one I understand.
Identify as feminists, unless they say that they're pro-choice, goes totally against everything that feminism stands for.
I agree with that, and I think that's actually something that's beautiful about womanhood and women in general, and something that kind of shows ways that modern feminism has kind of been a little exclusionary, because women come from all different backgrounds and thought processes, and I think we should support the freedom of choice, the freedom of speech, regardless of the lifestyle that woman wants to choose.
If you personally feel you're pro-life, that's fine. Feminism as a movement should be pro-choice to allow anyone to choose whatever path they want to have, whether they want to have children or not have children or have abortions or whatever. But if feminism is pro-life, then you've blocked one group of people from choosing whether they want to have abortions or their own family planning.
So
one of the pushbacks that I would just love to get.
If you're a transgender, if you go man to a woman and you have a kid, be able to choose whether you have the kid or not. Is that what?
Basically. Well, he's basically trying to debunk my girl's what do you call it? Thing that she was saying, because she was saying.
So, would that kid come out messed up if it's a trans guy?
Not really.
Like, how would the kid turn out?
What do you mean?
They got produced the kid.
Yeah, exactly. They got produced the kid.
So
I don't think we're at that stage.
No, we're not. See, I don't know about this stuff yet, so I'm just guessing.
No, I don't think we're at that stage. I don't think. Wait.
They're trying to.
Because there's going to be some case in some next Middle Eastern country, where they did some mad tests for the first time.
Lesbians are trying to get the stem cells of the woman and turn it into sperm.
The stem cells
of the other woman turn out into sperm.
So they're injecting stuff into their head to take out the stem cells.
Guinness World Book of
Records. Cells are in your brain.
Records 2010 named BT the world's first married man to give birth in a TV broadcast from Rome. So there's actually been a man in the Guinness World Records in 2010 that's had a baby.
That baby must have
world's first married man to give birth in 2010 in Italy, Rome.
Did he die?
No, he's there, blood. He's in the Guinness World Book of World Records.
No, did he die after?
Nah, blood. He's still there, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Because you know, like women's pelvises and that.
What
like
the
construction?
Ah, man.
But I'm saying like the construction of like the women's things, yeah, it's like it's made to like for birth, like to be wider.
Forget all that. You need sperm and an egg to do it. So how have they done it with 2 sperms?
Bruv, I don't know, blood.
Did they like inject the egg into him and fertilize the egg and like?
I do not know.
But then it's not.
You know what I'm saying?
This man said, "Did he die?" Like a spider.
I believe that abortion is wildly discriminatory against women,
whether they want to have abortions or their own family planning.
One of the pushbacks that I would just love to give is I believe that abortion is wildly discriminatory against women and against people with disabilities. Baby girls are aborted at a higher rate, which is so sexist. And so I truly don't think that you can be a feminist who is pro-choice, because these are discriminatory practices.
So I am pro-choice. I feel like somebody should have whatever type of choice that they want to make. They should have an equal say as far as, hey, this is my body. I want to be able to have an abortion, or just as equally, I want to say I'm going to have this baby. So, and I do believe it's 100% up to the woman.
But what the girl in the blue, what she's basically saying is that you shouldn't, you know what I'm saying, if you're a feminist, you shouldn't, you know what I'm saying, want to abort a baby type of thing, all of them things.
So if they find out that the baby's disabled, they go decide whether they want to keep it or not.
Basically, but she's saying you should keep it,
just keep it
no matter what, you know what I'm saying. But as a human being, you know what I'm saying, you should have free will type of thing.
You should decide.
Unless it's
you got to think about it, you got to look after that kid for the rest of their life.
Yeah, I understand that as well. I understand
and obviously, you've seen in Ralph Forsby, them kids that are disabled in wheelchairs and yeah. That is long. I'm not gonna lie.
That's why I wouldn't really talk about the topic, because you know what I'm saying, that decision is kind of mad, fam. You know what I mean?
There's rape babies, people get raped and shit. And
Yeah, true. It's mad. It's mad.
So, and I do believe it's 100% up to the woman. A feminist should probably be more aligned with giving someone their own choice.
Menstrual products should be free. 3, 2,
Menstrual products should be free.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Just being able to provide, for example, on the low
I see why she's strongly agreeing, because of her background, fam. She probably comes from a place where they're less fortunate, for example, like Africa, Mexico, all of them places there. I want to know why them man went on to fucking strongly disagree, though.
It's free. Alright, let's say fucking condoms and that. They're free, blood. Like, you can just go get them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So why wouldn't they be free?
Exactly. Exactly. I'm trying to see what the disagree side is trying to say.
school, you know, there's a lot of girls that cannot afford them.
Exactly.
You know, there's a shame to ask for it.
I mean, I personally believe that anything that you didn't, I guess, ask for, like menstrual cycles, or even, I mean, if you get into healthcare, I think that should all be added on.
I believe that everyone should
all right?
be compensated for their labor.
I'm trying to hear what this guy's
Cycles,
saying.
or even, I mean, if you get into healthcare, I think that should all be added on.
I believe that everyone should be compensated for their labor, and I believe that creating and producing menstrual products, it's a service.
Nobody's saying that they won't get paid, because, like you said, you were born a woman.
Oh,
You
so
didn't
she's
ask them.
basically saying the people that are making them need to get paid
should
type
get
of thing.
money.
But that's not what
But
we're saying.
they can get money anyway.
Exactly, but that's not what we're
Regardless,
talking about
they can
here.
get money from the
Yeah,
government,
period.
all
So
of
now
that stuff.
That's what I'm saying. People need to listen to the damn question. Like,
You have to go out and
you
pay taxes on, you have to pay more taxes than I do,
Exactly.
because I don't have to buy
They don't have to buy
tampons or
tampons, yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Is this like a pandemic of women like bleeding through their clothes or something? Because I've worked with low income families. This is never an issue I've ever heard other than on social media. Now, are there instances, or may there be segments in people's lives
So
where
she
they
said low
need?
income families, yeah, but
Exactly, and
there's always somebody below you.
she lives in America, blood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you go to places like Africa and all of them thing there, blood.
That's what I'm saying.
You get me? People living in villages that they don't have.
There's people. There's always someone worse out than you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what people ain't thinking of.
like things, or they need help, or they need the community to get behind them. Absolutely, but I don't think it's this huge crisis that everybody is making it out to be. I just have not seen it.
She's only just
Every
thinking about one
woman
part of the
should
world.
be a feminist.
Every
3,
woman.
2,
Crisis that everybody is making it out to be. I just have not seen it.
every woman should be a feminist. 3, 2, 1, go.
These are the kind of people that
Once
listen,
again,
that
I
just
feel like
annoy
that
me.
kind of
blood.
goes against everything that feminists are by saying that a woman has to think a certain way.
Every woman should be a feminist instead of every woman has to be a feminist. That's kind of why I went to the strongly agree. Yes, you should be a feminist
You
if
just
you're a woman, because you
misconstrued the
should want
question
equal
there.
rights.
Why is he bending
Going
it to
back to things people have really
Why is he-
misinterpreted
That's not even the
word
question.
feminism, you know, but most women should be feminist, but they are. I think to me they are. I don't know any woman that it's not a feminist, but they don't call themselves that because of the extreme feminism. Like, for example, I like to serve my husband. You know, that's something I like. That doesn't make me
Some
not a
women do like
feminist.
doing
That's
that.
who I
You're
am.
not alone.
He likes
Some
to
women
do
do
other
like
things, like
that.
change my tires. I will never do that. That doesn't mean I'm not a feminist, you know?
And that is officially a wrap, you guys.
Oh, wow. I can't put it.
High five. All right, here you go.
Awesome.
I'll give you a hug. That is so good.
This guy, man. This guy, man. Hey. That's funny, blood.
Right on, look at.
Alright, what do you guys think of the video? Did you learn anything new? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I need to search up feminists. To be honest.
Huh?
I just don't know.
What you
how
wanna say? You wanna search up the term?
Yeah, go on, go on.
Feminist. Meaning of a feminist.
It looks like women should have equal rights and opportunity. Yeah.
But that, no.
Organized opportunity.
That's the thing, though.
What?
When they say equal rights and equal opportunities, that's not realistic.
It might not be realistic, but it should happen.
But what's the point of even saying it if it's just not gonna happen regardless of what you believe? So footballers, basic. Men footballers, women footballers, they get paid
less.
bare less.
Yes.
Because nobody watches the games, less sponsors, nobody cares, basically. Men is more entertaining, they're more talented.
Yeah, but that's just because of how it's. That's just. That doesn't go under equal. It's just because how it is.
Yeah, exactly.
It is.
No, this definition is wrong.
If there's an obvious imbalance,
Man
then
said the definition is wrong.
yeah, if there's an obvious imbalance, then 100% blood. You know what I mean? But when it comes to like, I don't know, you know what I'm
It's something
saying?
you can control.
Yeah, exactly. If something that you can control, like a man and a woman can both do this job, both exactly the same, then I guess that's where this applies.
See, I get that.
But in
but
sports, then 100%.
in sports,
you know what I'm
it's
saying?
different.
That's completely different, blood. Because we've seen it when they've mixed men's and women's sports. Then
Yeah, it's not what. Like, did you see the what they call it, the 100-meter sprint? And it was like,
yeah.
the woman.
Yeah, there's
she
a whole
got
video on it. Yeah,
blitzed.
no. That obviously there it makes sense. But hey, how long was this video furthermore, blood?
She got blitzed.
This video was 30 minutes, blood.
Damn.
Anyway, I appreciate you guys for watching and them thing there, blood. This was, you know, like man like
Well,
a man like, you know what I'm saying? A man like
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'm sure I'm sure they'll be on the channel again, fam. And I'll catch you man the next one. Your boy Njies and I'm out here, fam. And the big people, man. I'm gone.